I'm grateful for your beautiful presence. Bring your intuition to the party. About to get into this download and see what Spirit has to say today. This is a completely English channeling. If the title is in Spanish, I'm only going to respond or speak in Spanish. If it's in English, I'm only going to speak in English. So this is an English message. I do both on this channel. If you're bilingual, well, lucky you. You get to catch all the messages, don't you? We have your alpha and omega messages here. We pull them first and then we'll read them last. They'll put a beautiful bow on the message. We want to start with the download oracle. We haven't used this in a little while. And Spirit was like, yeah, pull it out. So let's see. What's the message from the download? Download oracle saying, patience during your wait will prove your readiness. If you don't feel pressure, if you don't feel rushed, if you don't feel like you have to do something, you're showing the balance in you. You're showing that you're ready. You're ready on another level, because when there's all that chaotic energy inside, it definitely says something about your mental state and your energetic state and your state of alignment. Because remember, alignment feels good. It feels like peace. It feels natural. It feels like ease. It doesn't feel like stress. It doesn't feel like need. It doesn't feel like longing. It doesn't feel like lack. It feels different than that. And so that's why patience during your wait will prove your readiness. It's like whenever it comes, when you're in patience, you know it's going to work out, so you don't worry. In the past energy, we have the 8 of Wands talking about the arrows of love, talking about putting things into motion, taking actions, and talking about what you're going to do, talking about what you have done, okay? What's in the present energy? In the present, we have the 9 of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles is independence, doing things on your own. Self-sufficiency. It's also using your spiritual gifts, talents, and abilities to create in this physical world. There's also this energy in that 9 of Pentacles of indulgence and gratitude. In the future position, we have the Page of Pentacles. There's an opportunity that's coming. On the flip side, I gotta say, I also see a situation where somebody in the past, they were hoping, you know, to tell somebody, you know, sidebar message. So tell somebody, they put a lot of words of love. They could have did a lot to chase the love. And now they're with somebody. Well, what's going to happen is they're going to find out whatever opportunity they thought that they had there, they don't have that opportunity there. They were putting too much force behind it. I hear even pressuring somebody. So I do see that that's a sidebar, flip side message. What's at the bottom of the deck is the Sun. Love it. The Sun has come out. Sun talking about conscious awareness. It talks about being in an empowered state. It talks about generating energy for yourself. So as you had awareness, I see you learned a lot. You learned a lot of things about how to use your energy, how to focus your energy, how to use the feeling of gratitude to materialize opportunities and experiences in your world. They're having me flip reversals into the shuffling here of the spirit animal deck. I just got to throw that out there because usually I keep my cards all upright, and for whatever reason today this deck is being flipped, and I'd be interested to find out if they have us do that with the other decks. Lord of mercy. Okay, so a lot of action has been taken. 9 of Pentacles energy. Anywhere where you have been knowing that things were going to be okay and you've done all the things you should, the evidence of that has shown up now. Like, you held that energy for so long, and it's like you get to, you know how in school some kids were so smart and so advanced that they got skipped ahead of grade? That's what this looks like, getting skipped ahead of grade. There's going to be skipping ahead of grade. And this isn't on a school thing for most of you. This is about something in your physical reality. It's like, oh, I hear something you thought was going to end doesn't end. As a matter of fact, it gets stronger really quickly. I'm hearing a boost of energy. It gets a surge of energy. Okay, What's the spirit animal that wants to come out and deliver the message of most value to the ones watching? Something flipped upside down, but they said leave it there. So this is weird the way this is happening with the cards today. I got to say that. Okay. The spirit animal that came out, what do we have? We have the camel, and it's in reverse. And it's saying because you did it already, it's done. This is what you need to keep. So as coming out as valuable information for you moving forward, remember what you already did is what I'm hearing. The camel is an animal that can travel through really intense environments and bring along with itself its necessities. The things that it needs to make it through this harsh environment, it has it inside itself. So you've been through a harsh environment. Remember that it was all worth it. I hear, remember that it was all worth it. Remember, I heard that you've been through worse than this. I heard, remember you've been through worse than this. Let me see what it says. Endure difficulties with patience and resilience. So now that's twice that the word patience is coming out. Patience is huge. So this is letting me know that you have been enduring difficulties with patience and resilience. Okay, patience and resilience coming out as significant. Now, I was guided today to get my deck of spreads to pull the perfect spread for your message today. Let me just look at these cards while I shuffle this up and see what else, Spirit, what else do you want to say? You were patient, but you never lacked in action. You didn't sit around and be lazy while you were patient. You were like, well, what can I do? Oh, that's a big deal, they said. Looking towards what is in your power to do served you very well, and it will continue to. So every day, there's certain things that you can do, while there's certain things that, oh, I'd love to do that, but now's not the time. Otherwise, I'd be able to do that. And so there's this energy they're showing me where you do what is in your power to do for now, from where you're at right now with what you have right now, instead of sit up here and complain about what you can't do and where you can't be and where you'd rather be and what you'd rather be doing. You take action to do what is in your power right now. I heard consistency, and that has been key. I hear, because it's the consistency, the repetitive nature of your actions. It's what you keep doing the most that defines your order to the universe of what you'd like to see more of. This is why a body in motion stays in motion, because the body in motion is showing the universe like, this matters to me, this is what I value. And so you build a momentum, and like a train that takes a long time to slow down and come to a stop, whatever that is that you've been resilient in and consistently acting in harmony towards or with, okay, whatever you've been doing consistently has built momentum like a freight train, and it won't easily be stopped. They said, and if you've been consistent, then even that one day that you don't do it is not going to destroy it. That one day off, that one day of rest, or 2 days, or whatever it is, you could take the time off of doing that thing that you've been doing consistently. They say in 8 days a week sometimes, and we know there's only 7, so that lets me know like you put in overtime. You really do this all the time. And so with your doing this all the time, that consistency is key. The consistency is key. You have persevered and you've waited for this. I heard now you'll be elevated in this. Okay. And the spread that came out, what do we have? I need advice spread. It's 5-card spread. I need advice spread. We're going to use several different decks to layer and get information for you on this I need advice spread. Okay, so let's see, what do we have going on in the energy here? With the sun below, on this sun card, we have only one body. Now, a lot of sun cards show 2 bodies. In this image, we only have one here riding this horse. A horse is a very intuitive animal. It's even like those who are close to their horses know that they can communicate telepathically and psychically with those horses. There's all the sunflowers in the card. And because there's only one person on that sun card, oh, and then there's the flag on the card. The flag is telling me, you know what you stand for. You know what you represent, okay? You know what you represent. The other thing is the sunflowers are growing on a brick wall that's behind the child on the horse. So what's that telling me is that whatever was the obstacle, the challenge, the detour, the rejection that turned into a redirection, you planted sunflowers on top of it. Sunflowers representing happiness and joy. Representing empowerment. Okay, so whatever was blocked from you, whatever didn't work out, rather than letting that beat down your mentality, rather than letting that beat you down, you planted sunflowers up there, which is, you said, you know what, I'm glad that didn't work out. I'm sure something better will. It's that type of a conversation about a situation that didn't work out. And I hear you've tried to do things so many different ways over the years, yeah? But any way that it didn't work out, you were able to find gratitude and leave that situation in peace. That's epic. That's huge in this, okay? Now, the horse. The horse is a companion, but it requires a lot of care. They have to be groomed. They have to be fed. And they eat a lot, right? So this method of travel for you, what has gotten you to where you want to be, is something that you had to nurture, care for, and feed consistently. And then it carries you. And you had to leave behind you all of the obstacles and challenges, but not just leave them behind, but leave them behind you in an elevated vibration, in an elevated perspective. Why does it feel like the air conditioner is on? Lord of mercy, if they don't keep having me get up in the middle of my recordings. It says the heater's on, but the air feels chilly, so I'm going to have to pay attention to that. Okay, now there's somehow, what is that message? Because remember, everything that happens during a live is part of the message. That's consistent. So the temperature, the thermostat is set to heat. But as I'm sitting here and I can feel the air blowing, it feels chilled. It makes me, actually, I might even get up and go get my jacket. Okay, so the temperature setting, okay, interesting. There's something in that, because there could be something that needs some attention. In the mechanics, there's something that needs some attention. What is that? We're going to find out more as we move forward. The mechanics, the way things work, okay, bringing into perspective laws of the universe. Thank you. Patience. Okay, thank you. All right, they said we already talked about it. Because what they showed me was the shifting of direction of the train takes some time. Because it takes so long to slow a freight train in motion. And then once that freight train in motion is slowed, it takes so long for it to begin to pick up speed in the opposite direction. But before it can do any of that, that freight train has to be stopped to flip directions. This is why patience is being highlighted today. Okay. Bottom of the deck, we have the Lover. The Lover in the shadow talks about obsessive passion that harms others and self-destructive devotion. So in a lower vibration, this is somebody who, I see somebody here at the foundation where I see that there's been so much passion and devotion that it was harmful to yourself, because, you know, sometimes you got the right behavior, but you got the wrong one that you're trying to connect to, or you're sending it in the wrong direction, or, you know what I'm saying? There's something off in the formula, in the mechanics. There's something off. Now, in the higher vibration, the Lover card talks about great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. So I'm hearing you got to know where to focus that energy. You can't just be focusing that energy free willy-nilly all over the place on any old thing. Not if you have the goal in mind. Okay. Not if you have the goal, a specific goal in mind. You want to focus towards that goal. And in the past, because I was guided to read from the lower vibrational aspect of that lover card as well, you could have been making another person your goal, and that wasn't serving your best interest. You could have been loving on and devoted to somebody who was working against your best interest, somebody who was not in alignment with you. I heard, or trying to force a relationship with somebody because of feelings you were having that was not, again, in alignment with you. Because the highlight was on the fact that there was one person on the Sun card. Okay. Even on the Lover's card, there's only one person. Okay. So somebody here is about focus, is the messages right now about that, where you've been and where you're headed. Main point of focus of importance for you is, you know, that singular point of focus onto oneself, really. And so somebody here, what you've always wanted is to have this lover where you could share unbridled passion and dedicated devotion and all of these things. And that's fine that you've desired that. However, you must be in alignment with what you want to experience. Because if you're not in alignment with it, you are not going to attract that. You'll attract something that you are in alignment with. Okay. All right, so, but you persevered. You've been through I heard, I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. Okay? Now, there's a message in that. Because I did say with the camel, it's like the camel can go through these harsh environment and carry all it needs for itself. It doesn't require so much maintenance, but the horse does. Okay, been through a harsh environment on a horse with no name. I hear you didn't really know what it was all the time. You didn't always know what it was that carried you forward. You didn't always know exactly where you were going. Okay, the bottom of the deck is the Rose. Romance is in the air. Romance is definitely, okay, with the Lover on the bottom over there and romance on the bottom over here, Lord of mercy. So this is all about somebody's feelings. This is about somebody's feelings of romance and love, and who and what you have connected to in romance and love. Okay. And it's like, I'm seeing anywhere where you were connecting to other people, which is what people do. That's what humans do. They love to connect to other people. But it's like what the soul needed was for you to connect to yourself, because if you didn't do the process of really coming into that Sun energy, finding your personal empowerment, seeing yourself honestly and truly, because in this Sun card energy, the image of the individual there is a small child, and that small child don't have clothes on. So there's innocence, there's purity, and there's transparency. But I don't feel like that's so much about other people's perspective of you. It's like you got to really know yourself before you can get that close to somebody else. You got to really be transparent with yourself before you can have that connection to somebody else. They're saying, yeah, you have to be your own lover. Have you been dedicated and passionate with unbridled passion towards connecting with yourself, towards seeing your own transparency, towards being your happiness, towards moving away from, as the child on the horse is, from the obstacles and blockages after having planted sunflowers of joy and gratitude over whatever was said no to you, or whatever didn't accept you, or whatever you weren't allowed to go to. And I hear uninhibited in your authenticity is necessary if you're going to align with the kind of lover that you wanted. Now, somebody here, you do have a relationship already. I see somebody where you're already in a relationship. You really love this person, and you knew you were ready. And you're not alone anymore, and it feels great, because you feel like all those sunflowers that you had all that time by yourself is exactly what this relationship feels like. All that passion that you, all that joy that you, all that empowerment that you gave yourself during that time alone, you know, it was something that brought this connection to you. For those of you who are in a relationship, I see all this in the same cards that I'm looking at. And that's one thing Spirit does on this channel. In case you didn't know, they will speak as umbrella language as possible, excuse me, so that all of you can get your messages, because you're all living the same outline of energy from your own personal perspective, right? From your own personal details, in other words. The nuances are different, but the outline is the same. And that's why so many of you tap into the channel, tune in, turn on here, and you feel like I'm reading your personal life story every time you do. Well, that's why it happens that way. The bottom of the Prism Oracle talks about movement. Yeah, there's been some movement. I hear there, okay, somebody confessed their love. Somebody confessed their feelings. Somebody spoke about what's been on their heart and how they've been feeling. I see a love confession. Now, they want me to talk about this. In Korean, traditional Korean culture, like American culture is so different than Korean culture. And I don't know what part of the world you're in. Most of you might be here, are usually here in the United States, but my demographics definitely shows that we have a worldwide reach. But in Korean culture, like they don't really have all this physical contact with each other. The physical contact, unless it's like it's like confirmed first, it doesn't come. And unless it's accepted on both sides, it doesn't come. Like, people don't just be grabbing folks' hands. They don't grab people by the arm. They don't just hug everybody. So there's this energy here about knowing where to give your romantic energy and when to just hold on and stop being so liberal with it. Okay? But the feelings are being generated and the conversation is being had. And what it does is it makes, I'm hearing, it makes it more meaningful. That's what they want to highlight. When they give a hug, when they finally get that first kiss, it makes it more meaningful. And I'm not saying all of them are like that, but it is that society in general is more like that. Here in the United States, baby, you could go to the mall, you could go to a grocery store, and you could see people holding hands, embracing. You might even see them steal a kiss or something like that. That's not so much in that culture. I hear those things are more reserved. And so in this situation, somebody is learning to reserve a lot of that. They're talking about a special reserve, okay? A special reserve. It is a special reserve to give it. Okay. This deck, as we pull it out, is going to talk about your specific side of the experience. And I am laying your spread out while I'm channeling whatever Spirit has to say. So there's this energy of having learned discernment of when going beyond a romantic boundary. In other words, you're not romantic with everybody. I don't care what part of the world you're from. You're not romantic with everybody. Nobody is. You don't just go around hugging everybody, right? So there's something here about the way I see it is knowing when to invite that romance in and allow that to happen. At the bottom of the deck of you have the Page of Pentacles. There is something that has been in your point of focus. You know what you want. You have an idea of it. But the Page of Pentacles is when you're asking for what you want. Also, the Page of Pentacles, as you ask for what you want, understand that there is a journey that must be undertaken to receive it. The journey of moving through and overcoming anything that stands as an obstacle, a restriction, or a resistance in between you and the obtaining of what you want. So you want something, but you got beliefs that don't allow it. You got experiences that still generate so much focus in your energy from the past that are counterproductive to that. You have watched a lot of shows, listened to a lot of music, and talked a lot of shit with people where the main focus is everything that is the opposite of that. All that is a sort of a restrictive, disallowing, it's a blockage energy, honestly, is the way it's coming through. It's a blockage energy. So when you know what you want, the universe, life, God, whatever language you like to speak, we know all those vernaculars and more, will bring up in your experience all the lessons you need so that you become a vibrational match to what you chose, right? And I've said this many times. So you say, I want to be a billionaire so freaking bad. Okay, to buy all of those things you never had. But in order to do that, everywhere where you're not in alignment with billionaire energy, mentality, emotionality, and lifestyle is going to come up on a lesson on that path. It's like the next stop the train makes before it gets there, right? And you've got to go through that position and keep moving forward in order to align yourself with it. Yeah, okay, so these fell in my hand for no mistake at all, but I'm going to put them back. This deck is going to tell us about the other side of the table. Somebody has to make some changes, and the Queen of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles changes and find balance, okay? Because Queen of Pentacles, self-development work, bottom of the deck right now, I'm going to keep shuffling, is the Nine of Swords, fears, worries, resistance, okay? On my lap, we have the Nine of Cups and the Empress. Somebody is wishing for the Empress. Somebody knows that this Empress is their wish fulfillment, and they want an Empress. They want the whole Empress. But hold on, are you an equivalent match to that Empress? Can you show up with what the Empress got? Can you show up in alignment with the Empress? You don't necessarily have to have the same thing the Empress does. So I see somebody here. They want the Empress. That's what I see. As this message gets more and more defined, somebody wants the Empress, but they're showing up as a Page of Pentacles. How are you going to show up as a page when you're dealing with an Empress? You can't do that. Page of Pentacles is child energy. That's like you a whole, you know, grown and sexy adult, and there's this child who hasn't lived life. They haven't gained the wisdom, the experience. They don't even have their stability set up. Like, they don't even know what they like and who they are yet, but they want, and that's part of the problem I hear, and that's part of the problem. Somebody, I'm seeing this clearly, somebody's bringing mother wounding into the experience, and that's why they want this Empress, okay? So we're going to find out who's on one side of the table and who's on the other side of the table. Now, I also see an Empress. They're showing me flip side of that. I see an Empress who has attracted a lot of people who show up in the Page energy. Why? Why, Empress? Why are you attracting that? And they're saying she's attracting that because she hasn't yet realized her position, and she hasn't yet aligned herself with offers that honor her position. So more will come out about that. All right, let's see here what's at the bottom of the deck on the other side of the table. What do we have? Let's search. God, creator of all that ever is, was, will be, or could be. So thankful and grateful for this energy that I can channel and transmute and transmit as well, these energies, okay? And anywhere where the low vibrational and undesirable, we can assist in the transmutation of those energies in these individual lives, okay? Because we asked years ago that if all those tears and pain that came through our soul could be of service and benefit to somebody else, to let us speak this words in empowerment and health. And here we go. Thank you. Amen. Abracadabra. As it is, and so it's done. The world is at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so, okay, this is somebody who's accomplished. This is, with the world card at the bottom of the deck, this is somebody who is done. Finished with a lesson, finished with an experience, not needing something anymore. They're accomplished, okay? Overwhelming success. It's time to level up, to move on, to be somewhere else, to see somewhere else, okay? It also talks about energies where ones are at a distance, where ones are far away, long distance. Energy is here, okay? Long distance energy is here. Let me just doodle here, make some adjustments to her costume because I don't want to hear it. Okay. Yeah, with the World card, this is a certain level of accomplishment, but it's also from a distance. Okay, somebody is ready to change their world. Their world is changing. They're ready to change their life. We're definitely going to find out more. Look, she has a costume on now. Yay. Okay. Let me see, before we move forward, let me see more about the background here. So what is it that's accomplished? Well, walking away, trusting, okay. Whoo! Being the journeyer and Hierophant, life lessons, damn, and temperance, okay. And temperance, which is patience. Whoa, and the hermit, all the major arcanas at the bottom of the deck. Soul searching. Somebody really now, it's like you've leveled up because you understand that you can trust in the universe. You can surrender to the journey. You learned a lot of life lessons. You got the keys to the kingdom now. You understand so many things. You've learned a lot of life lessons successfully. You became at peace with divine timing. This is why you have patience, okay? You've elevated your energy. You've transmuted one thing into something better. You learned how to be a spiritual alchemist, absolutely. And you understand that this is your journey. It's your journey alone. You're not worried about somebody tagging along. You're not so focused on anybody else's opinions about it, right? Interesting. Let's dig at the bottom of the other deck on the other side of the table, which was this side of the table. So that was that side of the table, this side of the table. I know what I want. I found what I want. There's something of value and I want it. Okay. Oh, I really think I like something. Page of Pentacles, Page of Cups, Lord of Mercy. This is child energy. This is like the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Cups. This is somebody who knows what they want, and why are they coming through like a child that throws a fit to get what they want? A child that sits up there and whines and whines. I'm hearing a spoiled brat that will whine and fuss and throw a fit until they get what they want. Okay, I heard they better be careful what they're asking for. They might get what they want and get more than they bargained for. Okay. 6 of Wands. Okay, this person is very proud. They see something in you, but also, so this energy is coming through two ways. This person sits high on their horse, but there's this thing about, they think that, and I'm getting so much while I'm looking at this image. They think that they're moving in purity. In purity, not impurity, in purity. So they think a lot of themselves, and they're recognizing something in you, but they have, in their lower chakras, it's all black and white. It's all black and white. That's all they see is black and white. Well, life isn't really black and white. There's gray. Even if it looks like there's black and white, where the black meets white, there's always gray. Okay. Now, there's something here about this person, though. The fact that they're on this seat, the bridle, they're on. Okay, but it's got the blanket to cushion to protect the horse's back and all that stuff. But they're showing me that as where this person is sitting, they're not actually sitting in the purity that they think they are, but they recognize something in you. They're recognizing something in you, and now we see why they're not sitting in the purity that they think they are, because below that is the 5 of Pentacles, which is they're coming from lack and limitation. They're coming from not being enough. They're coming from broke poverty. They're coming from toxicity. They're coming from being left out in the cold, and then they see something in you. Oh my goodness. Wow, this just came through with the whole. So they just showed me something. I got a whole download about this, and what they showed me was like this person is coming from the lack and limitation mentality, and the thing of it is they're dressing themselves up. This is somebody who is like, they got along to make themselves appear to be in a better position that they are. Now, they could have borrowed character traits or qualities for somebody else, or they could have borrowed some money from a bank to go buy some better clothes. That's the type of energy, though. It's like, oh, well, I'll just put on this costume that makes it look like I look like them, and then, they'll think that I'm like them, but in reality, they're coming from this 5 of Pentacles. They're not that. That's not that's not who they are. They're not that free. And the Strength card below, this person has been in a situation where they've been trying to overcome their own challenges and obstacles and stuff like that. But the thing is, they want to get an opportunity with one. Oh, okay. Wow. They want to get an opportunity with somebody that has already said, no, thank you. I don't want that. I'm good over here. I'm good over here. I'm just going to stay over here meditating. I got my handy dandy cat over here. That's the only black and white in my life. I'm hearing that's the only black and white in my life. I'm actually covered in and surrounded by color. I hear, and no thank you. Well, here's the thing. I just noticed in the strength card, not only do we have the leopard with its spots, but we have the young lady with vitiligo, her skin. That's why she wears the costume. There's something about her skin. Now, vitiligo is not anything to be ashamed of, and you know, it's something that happens with humans. This person in the skin condition has something to do with this toxicity, this lack of limitation, this unhealthy behavior, unhealthy mentality, unhealthy addiction, unhealthy lifestyle, attaching themselves to people, because there's two people there, but they're outside of the church. So attaching themselves to people with no spiritual foundation, okay? Attaching themselves in relationships that are not grounded in, Lord of mercy, not grounded on a spiritual foundation. I heard the Bible verse cut me off and said, do not ye be unequally yoked. So this is somebody who is in this situation because they've been attaching to energies that they're not in alignment with. It's literally that simple. They've been attached to energies they're not in alignment with. Why do they do that? Because Five of Pentacles again, because they're looking for something that they don't have, that they perceive that somebody else has. And with this strength card with the vitiligo, the lady with vitiligo here, it could totally be that they're looking for somebody to tell them what to do. Take control. Can you just take the wheel and drive this life of mine? Be careful with that when somebody wants to come into your life and have you take control and drive their life, because there's consequences and repercussions for that, okay? Some of it is that the toxicity, though, is a form of trying to control other people. And some people, they're showing me in this experience, somebody here, they use the, hey, can you drive this? Can you make all the decisions? Can you be in control? But that's how they control you. Because if they could get you so entangled and so intertwined in what they've got going on, that attachment is more secure. That attachment is more firm. And they're showing me like a plant whose roots are bound, right? Like there's no untangling it. That's what somebody is looking or has been looking to create, is an entanglement that's so bound up. But it's the problem, again, with this is it's not got spiritual foundation. It's somebody who has a lot of attachments to unhealthy individuals, mentalities, lifestyles, ways of being. Whatever it is, it's causing in their physical reality for them to feel left out in the cold, not have enough, not good enough, feel broke. You know, things keep breaking in the house, things keep breaking in the life, things keep breaking down. A lot of breakdowns, mental breakdowns. This person in the Five of Pentacles could totally have some sort of mental health issues. This person could have some serious financial issues. This person could have some serious physical health issues. But they're going to show up in a way that tries to cover it up. Try to make it look like it's like that's not really who they are. They want to pretend to be what you are so that they can form that attachment with you without you realizing what you've done. And so they'll come in and they'll try to look extremely innocent, and they will actually be in, it's a very, this, I hear it, they said childish longing, a childish longing. Not childish in the sense of lighthearted and fun, but again, it's giving me that child that's like, no, this is what I want. Give it to me now. I said I want this. It's like a child's, the image doesn't look that way. I know. But okay, so there we go. Let's use the image. I said, let's use the image. So here you are, you're out somewhere with somebody, and why is this person coming up to you saying, oh my God, I really want this? See how she's holding the fish tank in her hand? Oh my God, I really want this. Do you think I can have it? How old are you? What are you doing? They found what they want. And they're asking you for it, is the way it looks like. They like to ask somebody else, whether it was you or something. This is just their way of being. Asking somebody else to do it for them. And then Page of Pentacles. This is a reiteration of that same energy. Well, do you think I can have some money to do this? Do you think you can give me that? Do you think you can provide this, that, or the other? Okay, that's the energy. Lord of mercy. Let's get into your spread. In the first position, it says, you as you are. What do you have for the detective? We're going to suss this out. We're going to figure it out. We're going to investigate this a little bit closer. We're not judging the book by a cover. We are digging deeper. We're going to go into the depths of this. I'm going to make sure it is what it says it is. June is in reverse. Okay, this angel is up here. Now, this June card, I can't help, but this June card, yeah, it always makes me think about a person who you love that has passed on to spirit. The name June, the month June, the street name June of relevance, okay? And now they're in angel. And why is it in reverse? Right now it's showing up because this person could be trying to look like another. It's like if you love somebody in the past and this person has any inkling of them, they're putting on the costume of the person that you loved in the past. That's a fool's move. I hear that is a fool's move. We also have rejection. No, thank you. I'm not interested, right? Oh, Lord of mercy. This is done, okay? And then we have the world card in your position. I'm done. The same world card that was over there. Lord of mercy, this lady need a costume too. The same world card that was at the bottom of the other side of the table deck. So leveling up. Okay, so in you as you are, you're on a level up energy. You're on a positive trajectory. You're on an elevated path. You're not in lack and limitation. You're in success and accomplishment. I'm hearing you're in success and accomplishment. Okay, that's your side of the table. Other side of the table means it's over for them. It's over for them. They're not. So, again, for some of you, this is somebody that died. They're your angel. They've been looking out for you. You already know about it. And you try to figure out what they got to say about a rejection. About, is it really over? If that's the case, they say, yeah, it's really over. For somebody, this death card is just, for a lot of you, this death card is just confirmation with this angel over here in this world. Like, yeah, they're at a distance from you. They can't reach you physically in this physical reality because they are in the spirit realm. Okay, and they're telling you, yes, reject this. It's not for you. Oh, thank you. So remember I said earlier that it felt like the temperature, the heat was blowing out AC instead of heat. It's warm. It's definitely warmed up. I'm glad I didn't put a jacket on. And I could feel the difference now. So now, oh, is that what it was? Lord of mercy. The heat was never blowing cold, they said. The heat was never blowing cold. It was my angel around me. Because they say when the angels are around you, you feel chilly. And I've had that happen many times in the past. So there's a whole message there. Now, they're telling me, like, yeah, your angel shows up your angels show up in your physical reality when you need them the most. And right now, your angels need you to know that, yes, you should be rejecting something that shows up right here. That's not for you. In case you didn't know, they wanted you to know that that's not for you. So June shows up. Yeah, my angel died on the street, on June Street. So that's how June applies to me, for those of you who are curious. Okay, one of my angels. All right, and the rejection. And she's like, so the angel could be saying, I'm sorry I rejected you as well, because now you're at a distance from me, and now there ain't shit I could do about it because I'm dead. Because that's part of that experience as well. And so my angel personally came through and she said, yeah, tell them, because that's part of somebody's experience here. But you're investigating something and your angel has some messages for you. So are you on the correct path? Let's see what we have. Destroyer. You busting barriers, breaking through shit. Okay, if you're exploding, first off, if you're exploding on, are you on the correct path? Well, you're breaking through resistance is what I'm hearing. Okay. Let me see what else we have. Oh, now we have the month of July. Lord of mercy. Okay, July. And then we have caution. And then the sun, which was at the bottom of our past, present, future spread. The sun. Okay. And this sun is on your side of the table, and the King of Cups is on that side of the table. So, Spirit, what is it? Are you on the correct path? Well, because the sun is in your position, I say, hell yeah, you are. And the correct path that you're on looks like somebody wants to try to look towards the future with you because, oh my God, I love you. But that face doesn't look very happy. Look at the face. Look at the expression on the face. Let me hold it still. Did that face look happy to you? Did that face look like a face full of love because it looks very stoic? Somebody trying to control their emotions. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces for some. So, are you on the correct path? Absolutely. The July coming out here, and look at, so we have the volcano, right? And on my table, it's like this. And then the July with the waves. I don't know what that was. Something just fell so loud outside. You know what? It reverberated the whole ground, and I felt it in my chair. It sounded like, it was like the sound of like if somebody dropped a manhole cover on the street. I don't know what happened outside, but as soon as I heard that sound and felt that vibration in my seat, I heard somebody's voice. I don't know what happened outside, but look at the cards that I have showing up here at the same time that happened. Remember, everything happens for a reason. It's all a channeled message. So outside, there's some noise. Something happened. Spirit did not get me out of my seat like they did about the AC or the heater. Spirit did not get me out of my seat to go peep and try to see what's going on. They said, no, just hold the cards, channel the message. So there's some noise. Something is being destroyed out there. July, it's going to cause a lot of emotions to rise, so be careful. Caution coming through. So, you as you are, you're saying no to something. And it appears that somebody's going to have an explosive moment in the month of July. Somebody who's born in July. And July is Cancerian energy. Somebody's going to have an explosive moment. Now, this could be their emotions exploding. This could be their consciousness awakening. Okay, are you on the correct path? Absolutely. You know you're on the correct path. One of the reasons why you're on the correct path is because your solar plexus chakra, yellow, is radiating caution. It's warning you that something could be happening. And it is something happening. You're in an empowered state like you ain't never been before. You're in an empowered state like you ain't never been before. And then the sun is definitely related to this caution energy, definitely related to the solar plexus energy. And why do we keep going back to the solar plexus? Because it's the same place in your body where not only fear resonates, but nervousness. And we want to be nervous. We want to, uncomfortability radiates there. And we want to be uncomfortable because none of our dreams live in our comfort zone. So if we don't get uncomfortable, we ain't going to realize our dreams like that. In this energy, are you on the right path? If it feels uncomfortable, if it's got your emotion, if it's got you highly passionate, breaking down barriers of anywhere where you allowed yourself to be, of who you've allowed yourself to be, of how you've allowed yourself to express yourself. If you got full-blown passion, baby, about something, yes, you're on your right path. If your emotions are in alignment with moving forward and you feel it in your soul, and then you feel the resistance in your solar plexus saying, I'm scared to do this. And then you reevaluate that and you say, hold on, Is this actually fear or is this nervousness? Because I remember that fear is trying to preserve and protect my life, where nervousness is something that is keeping me inside my comfort zone where none of my dreams live. And if I want to accomplish those dreams, I'm going to have to get nervous. I'm going to have to get uncomfortable and get out. I might have to get embarrassed and get outside of my comfort zone. So that's what that feels like. But you know it. You have conscious awareness with the sun. You know it's an empowering move. Okay. And over there's Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. So some of you are definitely connecting with a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces person that's coming into your life. I do see that as well. For some of you, this experience is going to happen in July, where you'll be aware, because they're saying June came up. You as you are. You ready? You let some things go. And maybe in June, you know, they won't want you. But come July, they're going to realize that they want you, or vice versa. That energy is there. I also see anywhere where this is speaking rather than about a passion or a lover or a romantic with a person. For a lot of you, I'm also picking up and receiving the energy of it being in relation to your passion project, that situation that, you know, you've been developing, that business, that idea, that plan that is receiving all the divine blessings so it can pick up the pace and explode, go viral. Okay, so it could be trending, so it could be the hit that you felt it was going to be. And when that happens, it's going to again make you nervous. I mean, when it just so happened yesterday, this happened, okay? Because when you walking in the grocery store, and I'm gonna tell you from this experience, I've had this many times already over the years, because I've been out putting myself out there publicly for over a decade, coming up on 2 decades now. But the first time you're walking through the grocery store to go pick up, you know, some coffee creamer and some toilet paper and, you know, just a couple little things, and somebody's like, oh my God, aren't you the one that, fill in the blank, what do you do? Because I seen you, so I seen you on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, I seen you. And you're like, oh. Because the first time I got stopped and somebody said, ain't you the one that owns that nail shop? I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, you're the one. You drive that old school Cutlass and you know your shop is right there on Lake Mead. And I don't know what you're talking about, sir. No, for real, that's you. I said, okay, fine, it's me. I'm like, why? Nothing. I just recognized you. I'm like, oh. The first time I was recognized by some random fucking stranger who could tell me who I was and was accurate, I was like, what are you after? What are you here for? Who sent you? What's your agenda? Right? And it was just, he was excited because he recognized me. Because he recognized me for my business. And then, you know, later it would happen about the karaoke. Oh my God, you're the one that sang karaoke. I really love the way you sang, Tyrone. Really? Wow, I'm surprised that you recognize. So the more it happens, it's going to become more comfortable for you. But I see that as it regards to your divine purpose, as it regards to your business, as it regards to your project, as it regards to your social content you produce, whatever it is. I do see where you are going to be recognized and acknowledged. And the first few times that happens, it can really make you nervous AF. Don't worry, you'll get used to it. And the problem is, you know, when you step out into the sun and when the sun hits you, when it's your time to shine, honey, which tribe is coming up on that energy. I mean, and they're saying, you wonder why that business didn't take off all those years. Well, because you were not on the other side of the destruction of the old kingdom. The old kingdom had to be destroyed first. The powers that were had to be taken out first. It was not meant for you to be building your kingdom, your business, your passion project in a system that was about to be dismantled. You are part of the construction of the new system, of the new energy, of the new kingdom. Now, and they're saying between June and July, watch that shit take off, baby. It's about to skyrocket just like the rocket on my cutlass. Okay? Take off. It like my shadow when I hit the gas. Hello, and we hopping on the highway, hitting them lanes, baby. You're prepared. So all this time, you've been preparing. And I see you've been pushing this energy so much with that 8 of Wands in your past energy. You've been pushing for it, pushing for it. You've been consistent. Just like me on YouTube. I get on YouTube all the time. And for so much of it, I've gotten on it every day. But like they said, that 1 or 2 days you miss, that's not a big deal because you're still doing this. You still keep coming back. You still keep doing this. It's okay for you to take a break. It's okay for you to take a sick day, a holiday, a vacation with pay, whatever it is, right? It's okay. But it wasn't meant for your system, your program, your business, your success, your fame, your notoriety, your influence to be part of the old regime of the powers that were. And that's all we'll ever give them around here. And I encourage you to do the same because the more of us with our empowered nature, our sun energy, which is a self-generating power source, that's what we are, okay, that expound upon the expression and speaking it out into self-prophesying reality, that they are simply the powers that were, the more that reality is going to be evident to your physical eyes. Okay, so now we are touching not only on romantic connections, but we're also touching on business and social services, really, like, because the business is a social service. That passion project is a social service. That divine life purpose is a social service. It's here to serve humanity's highest, lightest, and brightest good. It's here to answer the prayers that are on the people's hearts. I love it. So let's look at our third position. I got them laid out here. It says, what is the main obstacle? I really don't care to talk about obstacles, but Spirit chose this reading for a reason. So let's see, because I'd rather focus on what I'd rather see. But if there is an obstacle, it needs to be made known to both you and me. So let's see what we have as the main obstacle. The Midas Miser. You don't realize that everything I touch turns to gold. Oh, sugar. I got the Midas touch. Baby, let me touch your body and your soul. Okay, so what they're saying is, the obstacle is you don't understand that what you do touches people's bodies and souls. I don't care if you're making jewelry, groceries. They say making groceries, cooking. If you're preparing plates, you know. I don't care if you're fixing on cars. I don't care if you're ringing people up. What you do is touching their body and soul. One of the things, thank you, as we were just speaking about community, one of the things that's been an obstacle is you've forgotten to incorporate how what you're creating touches the body and souls of others. I heard that's gonna give it the nitro. Yeah, that's gonna give it the that's gonna give them the power surge, baby. That's what's giving it the power surge. You got to realize it. Everything you touch turns to gold. Acknowledge that. Acknowledge that. They said if you, they just cut me off and they said, if you would acknowledge that by noticing where you used to be versus where you are, like you might still have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment. But the 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment you have right now look a far cry better than the one you used to have before, because the one you used to have before was in the broke down, impoverished hood, and now you up here in bougie town, okay? Won't you take me to bougie town? Won't you take me to bougie town? Now, is that symbolic for you is what I'm hearing, because in many cases it will be very symbolic of what? In other words, you still have your business, but where you used to be in, you know, center of all the homeless shelters, now you in bougie town. Okay? Like that. Acknowledge what you what you have. Acknowledge what you've came from. Acknowledge that everything you touch turns to gold. Maybe you used to make sandwiches and now you're making 5-star meals. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you used to have 10 clients and now you have 100. Whatever it is, acknowledge that everything you touch turns to gold. The more you give attention to that, the more open the paths will be. The more you realize the way it affects the community and blesses the community and answers their prayers, the more it's going to give gas to what you're doing, baby. Yeah, it's going to give gas. I do have soul because I'm a soul girl. I was born in Seoul, South Korea and raised in the hood. And I'm a mixed race baby. I got all kinds of soul. Everything I touch turns to gold because I could tap into everybody's soul that I have soul connections with. Hello. This is why I was raised in the hood. Right at the corner, half a block away, which was three properties away, was the projects. Across the street was the community clinic. And behind that was a community rec center. I don't live like that no more. I don't live in that place no more. I sure don't. But I still have my soul. I have all the lessons that I learned from it, and so do you. How does that apply to you? Everybody, I know y'all didn't grow up down the half a block away from the state mental health asylum and the projects, or across the street from the community clinic and the community rec center. I know you didn't. I know you all didn't. But how does it apply? Because where you live now is a far cry from there. Because, honey, we bougie Summerlin bitches now, honey. And I got 2 places in Summerlin. Hello. My business and my home. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. This is why all your love donations are greatly appreciated because, baby, I'm paying 2 Summerlin rents. So thank you. And it does cost money to get up here and do these channels. If you think that the internet is free, if you think that the telephone that I record on is free, if you think that any of this makeup is free or these clothes, which thank you for sending me some money for a new wardrobe. I need to add some new piece into my wardrobe. I feel like y'all done seen this shirt 100 times by now. But anyways, you get the point, right? It's still a far cry from where we were. It's still a far cry from where we were. And that's the point. Notice how everything you've touched turns to gold. You used to want what you have. Okay? The other thing they're saying is not to get caught up in the idea of doing it for the money. Anywhere where your business, your project, or your romantic relationship is all about the money. Baby, you got the wrong fucking motivation. I'm going to tell you flat out right now. Yes, I earn money from doing nails that pays for this condo I live in, my business place, these clothes that I wear. Thank you for the love donations, right? And all the things that I do, the message that comes from my soul and the ability to communicate that to you, them nails that I do, that's what pays for all this. And now we just got a $10 love donation. Thank you, Trisha. I appreciate you, baby. And the thing of it is, you know, it wasn't about the money. Yes, I needed money to take care of them kids I was raising. Yes, I needed money to pay the rent and all that stuff. But I actually love what I do. I didn't get on YouTube because I thought that you guys were going to pay my fucking life. But God already said one of these days, so much funds are going to come through YouTube between the views and the donations that it's going to pay for itself, which would be fucking fantastic. If the YouTube and the message I did could at least pay for the internet and the phone, be a lot of mercy. That'd be a change. If y'all could pay for a new outfit once in a while, that'd be great. But I'm just saying, the fact of the matter is, it wasn't done for the money. It was done because if any one of you would improve your life mentality, your emotional stability, your emotional intelligence, your soul, or find your empowerment because of the bullshit that I went through and all the tears I cried and all the struggles and challenges I survived, well then, it's worth it. And guess what? It's a lot more than one of you. It worked. It worked, and I said it'd be worth it if I could just help at least one person. And that one person was revealed to me a long-ass time ago, over and over and over and over again. There's been so many of you who have changed your life because I'm able to channel these messages and you're able to hear. You're teachable. You're willing to expand your consciousness and become aware of other ways to do things, other perspectives, other techniques. So, you never tried this shit before. And you know what? We don't give you half a message and follow me on Patreon. You could pay for the rest of your message on Patreon or whatever the fuck they're doing these days. No, we give you the whole message, all the meat and potatoes, all the side dishes. We give you the drink. We give you dessert. We give you everything in a napkin and a nice comfy chair to sit in while you get your spiritual meal. Why? Because we care. Because we know that the more empowered I became, the more it empowered humanity and raised the percentage of authentically empowered beings on earth. It affected the community. I could see that. So I said, let's spread that. What would happen if a bunch of other people found their empowerment too? Wow, what would happen if I got up there and just start talking? And I'm going to tell you, they said put the fucking card down. I'm going to tell you, do I need to go get the card? Yes, go get the card. Okay. Pause. Hold on 1 second. I just got to go grab this deck. Because what had happened was I asked to be shown what happens. What happens? I say, God, what happens? What will happen as a result of me reading these cards, God? What will happen? And I shit you not, this deck of cards that I bought in Denver. Let me see if I wrote the date I bought it. I'm so curious. Let's see, because I don't know. See, I didn't start doing that until later. But yeah, I've had this deck since at least 2010. I could see one of the dates in the book. So I asked God, I said, what happens if I start reading the cards, okay, and sharing the messages on YouTube? And I'm going to show you the card that came out of this exact deck. This is the deck. Hold on a second. I'm getting to it. There's only a few cards in here. Lord of mercy. Where's that? Where they at? Don't tell me the last. There's one of them. Oh, Lord of mercy. And then there's the other one. They were at the back of the deck. It's so funny. They made me go through every card. Okay. So I said, God, what happens for me reading these tarot messages? And I got this card. Look at that. It says love. And I was like, wow. So then I said, okay, God, well, what happens if I share these messages with the world, like on YouTube and stuff like that? And the card that came out. The card that came out, honey. You see what that says? Can you see what this says? It says Sea of Love. It says Sea of Love. I got these two cards side by side as I asked about reading these messages. What happened? That's why you do things. That's why you do things. None of it said wealth, money, none of that. It didn't come out that way. It came out love and sea of love. What happens from doing this? Love. What's the result of sharing it with the world? A sea of love. That was the motivation. That was the intention. That's the reason for this season. That's the reason I'm here. That's the reason you listening. That's the reason I got into doing them nails, because I loved my daughter. I didn't want to die from that other job. You need to understand that if you do it for the money, that's going to be an obstacle. You have to do it out of love. Let all things you do be in love. Do all things in love. And from that, all things shall be added unto you, is what I'm hearing, okay? Because in the shadow attributes of the Midas Miser card here, which is coming up in our obstacle position, it says hoarding money and emotions, obsessive fear of losing your wealth. If I did this because I was afraid of being broke and I was trying to get the money, which it works for a lot of people, but it ain't working my energy, not the way my energy is set up. I didn't do it to get rich either. I just did it to help, because I wanted help, but I didn't get the help. And I did get the help, but not from people. So you do it with your eyes up, not holding on to the bag. You do what you do with your eyes up towards the heaven, towards elevation, towards your soul, towards your spirit, not trying to hold on to the bag of money. Obstacle, the ram, a stubborn, aggressive person. The obstacle, some people here, and I'm just going to throw this out there because that's what God just said, okay? Some people on here, you have kept meeting with this stubborn ass, and because it's a ram, I can't help but pull up Aries energy. And then so it's showing me Emperor energy. And so it's showing me the status quo, the powers that were. Oh, they hate it every time I re-solidify that they are simply the powers that were. So part of the obstacle is the system isn't set up this way. This is looking like the old system. This is looking like the old structure, power structures, the old way. Yeah, the good old boys energy. You know what I'm saying? Controlling energy. The old authority system has been an obstacle. But like I said, they're the powers that were. Because it's like, even on the channel, Lord of mercy, I'm so thankful and grateful that these messages are hitting so many of you now. Because even on the channel for so long, I even had a client, right before we finally broke 7,000 subscribers here. Mind you, it took about 10 years to get from 4,000 subscribers to 7,000 subscribers. Can anybody think about why? Did any of y'all get the message of why? The why was because the old power structure. When what you're doing is cutting edge, leading edge, it's innovative, and it breaks their system of control, they don't want it to grow. They don't want you to go and be trending or go viral or get famous or be known all around the world. So they try to stifle you. They try to stop you. Well, that shit broke last year. And the subscribers just keep going up, and the views just keep going up, and the likes just keep going up. And I don't do this for the subscribers, the views, or the likes. There's been so many times that I have said it. I don't care if none of y'all are watching. I'm still going to give these messages, because one day these messages are going to be going insane, being viewed like crazy as the energy that I'm discussing is growing. And that's what I do love about your likes. And I do love about your comments and your subscribes and your shares and all the stuff, right? But a friend of mine contacted me, a client slash friend slash viewer slash a little bit of everything in my life. She said, Melinda, usually when I'm at home and I'm doing stuff around the house and then I put on the TV onto YouTube, your stuff will come up. She said, well, I ain't seen none of your stuff in a long time. I said, well, you know, honey, they try to blacklist me. They try to shadow ban me, right? I said, and that shit for their sake looks like it's been working. I said, but you know that shit is fake. It falls off. It don't really work. I can't be silenced. I won't be defeated, and I sure won't be quieted. I'm going to keep showing up. I said, don't worry about it. It'll change. I said, just make sure you subscribe. If you're still subscribed, maybe even click the unsubscribe and then subscribe again. Make sure you got the bell tap for all the notifications. And just do that. I said, that's the only thing I could tell you. I said, but know this. If they are blocking my views, if they're blocking my subscribers, because I've had subscribers reach out to me and say, Melinda, I was looking for your videos and I wasn't seeing them. So I went to your account and all of a sudden I wasn't subscribed. That be powers that were. They don't want folks to hear what I do, the way I operate, my perspectives, and what God has shown me. And which is why I do it. That's why everything I turn to go is not what they teach in school. It's not what they want you to know. It's not the watered down form of spirituality in the new age stores. It's not none of that. It's full authentic empowerment of your divine self, which circumvents the need for their system. It's a Sigma mentality. I don't need you to support me. I don't need you to approve. I don't need your applause. I don't need your support. I really don't care what you think about me. I'm just showing up in my authenticity. And it breaks their matrix. Understand? But it's funny because about a week after that conversation was when we broke 7,000 views. It broke 7,000 views. And then I went to the studio and I did a recording. I said, Lord of mercy, what's going on here? Because, oh my God, there's so many people on my live. Oh my God, there's so many people on my live. Wow, everybody's in tune with me now. Yeah, we broke some shit. We broke some shit. Are you on the correct path? Did you break some shit? Did you explode their limits? They try to put a ceiling on you. They try to cap you off. Did you bust that shit wide open? Well, if you didn't, it could be happening for you in July. Okay. There could be a person who's born in Cancer, Gemini Cancer energy who is going to help you break that system. So part of the obstacle has been the old system, the archaic authority, the powers that were. Yes, because I'm just giving it. I'm just giving it away free. Yeah, and God said, let them know, baby. Let them know. I said, okay. God said to let you know that the things that I teach on this channel, and you can go back from the first one and start watching it like your favorites, like you did Stranger Things. I'm just saying. But if you go back and you watch all the videos, not only will you find empowering messages for you, you'll observe my growth, and as I learn new things, you will see how life changed, how situations change, the things that happen, the responses from the world, and the mirroring and all this stuff. Keep up with the new stuff, but some of you really want to go watch the old stuff too. Okay, keep going into what is the main obstacle. Our next card is the stop. Stop in the name of love. Oh yeah, that's what they wanted you to do. The old authority wanted you to stop. They figured that if they kept pressuring you, in other words, if my views kept getting you know, back in the day, which was not so far away back in the day, you know, right before we broke 7,000, how I had 6,000 blah, blah, blah subscribers and my views were getting like 10 views. What the fuck? Where they do that at? They thought that doing that to me long enough would make me stop. Well, clearly that shit failed. I'm still here, and they can't stop me. Clearly. The same thing towards your life purpose, your passion project, your business. What is it? What you do breaks their system. Which is, this is bad timing for you to break their system because, honey, they are now the powers that were. They've been put on notice that they are being evicted from their positions of power and wealth. Years ago, we channeled the message that there is a transfer of power and wealth that will be happening. Guy and God had gotten together and had a conversation and said, yep, the energy is right. It's about that time. That was right around the time that COVID hit, right? And then you take into consideration, for those of you who've been loyal and faithful on the channel and you watched yesterday's message, for those of you who didn't, please go watch it. It's a long one, but God, Lord have mercy, it was chock full of meat and potatoes. I'm just saying, but yes, they've tried to stop you. They figured if you were shadow banned long enough, if they figured if you couldn't get the loan, if you couldn't get the clients long enough, if you were isolated long enough, you would break and you would stop. And they were fucked up about you. Well, hello, they were fucked up. They had you all the way fucked up. They thought so. they thought so. And that's one of the things came out yesterday in the message where God said, yeah, they, you know, if they've still been operating in their shadow energy after 2020, because I remember getting, after 2020. Why 2020? Because the judgment card is number 20. And when God showed it to me, I was at a red light, getting off the freeway. They were on the freeway. They got a red light. God said, as you judge yourself, so shall you reap your sentence and your repercussions. If they knew they were guilty and they lie and they got to hide it and deceive and manipulate and steal and cheat, they know they're guilty. They're going to feel the consequences. See, what had happened, as I discussed yesterday, they want me to touch on it again briefly, was the correction of the magnetic core flow of the earth meant that they could no longer siphon the energy of the light, of the empowered, of the higher vibrational, and benefit without their permission. The only way they could steal your energy now, and when I say they, I'm talking about the powers that were, I'm talking about old authority systems, and I'm talking about any evil motherfucker that think they know how to use magic, spell work, that alley brujeria, you know what I'm saying? Backstreet brujeria. The only way they can get it is if you give them the permission slip. Now, and since you reclaimed all that, it doesn't work. But they've been allowed to believe that they're still operating in the same way that they used to successfully for a period of time, a short period of time. Why? to seal or clear their karma. Because I heard one fell swoop. With one fell swoop, you're going to see them fall. And we've already been witnessing that. We have witnessed in our society, at least here in the United States, and y'all can feel free to comment on it in other ways around the world, but different ones have been booted out, jailed up, stepped out of their position, closed their business. They trying to fucking disappear right now. They trying to fucking disappear right now. Okay, so this has been the obstacle. It's that old mentality, that old system of authority. The powers that have now fallen did not want you to thrive. They did not want your business to thrive. You know, like one of our viewers who has a natural candle making company, Michelle Celeste, she sells these natural candles made with intention and all these things, right? And natural other natural products. And so, yeah. Why would they want you to burn a natural, organically made candle when you could burn the bullshit from Bath and Body Works just filled with chemicals that are toxic, that can slowly kill your body and your soul, that are made from a greed energy? You see what I'm saying? They don't want that. They don't want that there to thrive. You up there making nutritious meals that are made with natural ingredients, homemade with the love. Not only do you put your food in it and that shit tastes good as fuck, but you pour love and intention and empowerment and healing into every meal you cook. They want them motherfuckers on McDonald's, honey. Why? Because of all the chemicals and the death and, oh yeah, the human remains that they found in that shit. Lord of mercy. So don't worry about it. They said, don't worry about it. What's the main obstacle? In yourself, the Six of Pentacles, the main obstacle is you giving them so much. And it's like, come on. Getting what, the only main obstacle is you've been getting what you deserve. And everybody gets what they deserve. Do you believe that? Do you know that? Do you stick to that? Because remember, hope, belief, knowing. Do you hope that? Hope. I don't know, but I hope. Hope. Do you believe? Well, I mean, I believe it could happen, but it's still not real. Or do you know? I know like I know like I know, and you can't tell me what the fuck I know because I know. You know that everybody gets what they deserve. You need to know that. You need to believe that. And that's been one of the big obstacles, because remember, all of us who are living today, if you are over 5 years old, and all of you aren't, because this is an 18 and over channel for this grown-ass conversation. If you know, then you have been alive during the last days of the old regime and the old system and the old energy. Which means that if you got any age under your belt like I do, or more than me, praise, you watched it and you learned it your whole life, that no matter what good you put out there, no matter how hard you work, no matter how much you believe in yourself, you keep hitting that fucking brick wall. Oh, Lord of mercy. And we talked about the brick wall. Now the brick wall is behind you. See, why was that happening? Because the flow of the Earth's magnetic core was going in reverse, which allowed them to siphon. It was a worldwide, generation-wide curse, but it was broken. Then you had the quarantine hit as physical evidence that was over. But people still believe that. If you're not a liar, cheater, manipulator, or a thief, there's no way you can grow in power. There's no way your business is going to grow. You can't do politics. You can't do big business. You can't reach the people. You're never going to be trending and all that shit, because that's the way that fucking was. All these athletes, stars, celebrities, movie stars, big business, they all are on the fucking E-list from that nasty ass island. All the politicians, I don't give a fuck what color their skin is, they were on that bitch too. They're demonic. They were dark energy. They were all, the good old boys, supporting each other, trying to stop you. But you know that we get what we deserve. Remember that. And now that the Earth's core is flowing in the divinely designed way, it's flowing counterclockwise as it was divinely designed to. Go look at any river and it will confirm that for you when you find the vortex in the river, honey. And what you're going to find is, oh, they can't steal my energy no more. Now, the good things I put out actually do come back to me. So what they did was they destiny swapped for a long time, for a popular term that's going around the social media these days. A long time, they were able to destiny swap. Who? The powers that were able to destiny swap. In other words, all the benefits of being a beautiful energy on earth, a loving, giving, compassionate, kind, and generous soul with pure intentions, them motherfuckers was reaping the benefits from it. Meanwhile, you was having that eating there from their karmic tree, which was shit in your hand. But you didn't deserve that. But the laws of the universe says that what goes up must come down, and what goes down must go up, and what swings left must swing right. There are universal laws that support that. And you know that, or you're learning that today, and you always had the feeling of it. And the facts of the matter is, honey, we're not going to get away with that forever. And you and I are so blessed to be alive. We are so fortunate to be a part of this love and peace and happiness tribe and thrive right now. And hold down the energy and watch and look and see how all the beautiful love and peace and happiness we put in the world comes back to you and me every day in many ways. Always, always. Praise. And these are the facts, as the powers that were have fallen. So what's the obstacle? The obstacle is, do you believe that the good comes back to you that you put out? Are you beginning to see the physical evidence of that to convince your conscious mind? Your conscious mind, the moon is the subconscious, the sun is the conscious, your conscious mind that this is true. Look for the evidence of that. It's always surrounding you. Any way you can find it, keep doing it over and over and over again, because that energy is just going to keep growing. So it's another part of our thing is that there's still others out there that don't yet know this. A lot of old timers, they've been around a long time. They don't know about this new energy shift and all that stuff, right? But what's beautiful is even quantum physics proves, thank you for the word because it was gone. Even quantum physics proves that by your focus upon something, it shifts energy. It can shift vibration and frequency. But it also proves that it takes less quantity of individuals in a higher vibration to affect a larger auric field than it does those in a low vibration. In other words, it's like the movie Monsters, Inc. Anybody seen the kids' movie Monsters, Inc? Lots of times with my babies, okay? In Monsters, Inc., they scared the babies. The monsters creep into the baby's room at night and scare the hell out of them. And when the kids get scared, it generates energy. They put it in a capsule. They take it back. And they empower their city with it. They run their city with it, right? But by the end of the movie, what do they find? The little girl helped them discover that when she's laughing and giggling, she generates so much more energy. I mean, enough that when she's hiding out in Monster Town, she starts shorting out their electricity, making the light bulbs blow. Ooh, message. How many times have you come under a light bulb and that mug blew out on them street lamps? How many times your car keys start acting up? All of a sudden, it don't want to act right. It's because your vibration is affecting the electronics, okay, so much. But they discover that this one little girl, when she's giggling and laughing, is enough to overpower their system, and they experience energy surges. And just like in that movie, the scared child can generate energy, they can run stuff, but the laughing and happy child generates so much more energy. This is why I believe and know that what I do is divinely designed, and this is my main passion project. This is what my heart goes to. And even when I'm getting paid to do them nails, baby, this is still the conversation. This is what y'all don't know. I know y'all wish you could be flies on the wall when I be talking to my clients, because the conversations be all this and then some. But that's the thing that you need to know. It takes less of us in an empowered state to flip this shit and get it upright. Because remember, thank you, talking about Stranger Things. They had the world in the upside down for so long. They had the world in the upside down, talking that Stranger Things vibration talk. Okay, they did. Because it was under a curse where everything was backwards. But look at in the Stranger Things, they all had to fight. They all had to fight. They all had to fight the darkness. And the boy had to realize that he had the same power and ability to fight telepathically against that fucking monster beast, dude. And as you find your power, we come together, and all together we take the fucking beast out, baby. We take the beast out, right? And we thrive, and we flourish. And yeah, it takes less of us to believe that and know that and hold that energy than it takes of them trying to squash us. One of us overpowers so many of them. One of us overpowers so many of them. Okay? Other side of the table, energy, what's the main obstacle? The Six of Swords. The main obstacle is these folks tried to make you run, like I said. They thought that if they stopped you long enough, they would get you to run. They thought that if they blocked you long enough, they would get you to cower and stop. Wrong answer. What's helping you position in our fourth position? What do we have? The priest. What's helping you? The priest is helping you. Your faith, your belief, your knowing, okay? What's helping you? It says facilitates spiritual commitments and serves as a channel of spiritual energy. This fucking channeling is helping you. The fact that you keep attracting channeling experiences where you having different conversations with different ones and they just happen to say exactly what you needed to hear. Or maybe you're the one that's saying exactly what needed to be heard. But the message is being received. Hello? Now, what's helping you? In the shadow attributes, let's see. Violates the trust of your spiritual community, seduced by your own spiritual role. What's helping you is realizing, you know what? Yeah, I do have influence and affluence in this energy, but it's not all about me. It's about my community. And I respect the role and the position I've been put in to speak to you. So I give you what I hear and I allow that to channel through. So what's helping you? Whether you're the one that's channeling the message or you're listening to me and I'm the channel in your life, or you know 10 other people that be channeling these messages. I don't know how it's working in your personal life because all of you are specific, right? But the outline is the same. There's channel messages. That channel message is helping you. Those channel messages are helping you. The fact that you have a commitment to your soul, to yourself, to your purpose, to your evolution, that's helping you. The fact that you're committed and consistent to what you do, where you're the one of service, that's helping you. There's so much helping you, okay? Let me see what else we got. The basket, recognition and reward for merit. Honey, it's harvest time. You finna get yours, okay? And that's helping you. Remember when the finances come in, when the people come in, when the viewers come in, don't stop, get it. Now you got the gas, baby. You better keep on driving. I heard, shut up and drive. Okay, it's like, shut up and keep talking. Keep going. Don't stop now. Now you got the gas. Keep going, baby. Keep going, because that means you lost their ass. It's like that. It's like that. What was a high-speed chase? I see a high-speed chase, and they were close. They were about to ram you off the side of the road with that ram energy. And the next thing they know, you hit the NOS button. Boom. Superpower. Oh, and we out of here. And then the next thing you know, they're way back there. They can't even see your dust no more because, baby, you done blast off on them. That's what's going on. Use your resources. Use the gains that you are receiving to assist in this purpose, in this passion, in this business. Learn the things that Spirit is channeling to you. Apply what Spirit is channeling to you. And remember and use it as the gas that makes you go, out of here. You can't catch me now. Okay? And why they just show me the Road Runner? The Road Runner. You remember? Beep, beep. And he's gone. In the way that he will blast through the walls, blast through the door, and just leave nothing but the shape of what he was in when he hit the door, running. That's all you're going to leave for them. That's all you're going to leave for them. That's all they're going to have left of you, honey. They thought they could restrict you. They thought they could hold you back. They thought they could shut you down. They thought they could shadow ban you. They thought they could silence you. They thought they could intimidate you into submission. Wrong, bitch. I'm out of here. Deuces, and I'm out. Okay. What is helping you? The mystery. You are something different, and you understand the mysteries of the universe. To any degree that you do. Acknowledge that. More of that comes through, okay? Understanding what was a mystery. Understanding the light side and the shadow side of things. Understanding the way the energy has been working. This is helping you. Delving into the mysteries of the energies and life in the universe, okay, is helping you. What is helping you? Nine of Swords. Alignment is helping you. And the alignment is anywhere where you still feel fear, nerves, apprehension, anxieties, doing some processing of that. To see, how does my light feel about this? And how does my shadow feel about this? To reach a conclusion. If you feel nervous or afraid about something, do an investigation. Ask the highest self for what side of me feels this fear? What side of me feels this worry? What side of me feels this anxiety? Is it my light or my shadow? And then once you receive the answer of the light or the shadow, you know what that feels. So then ask what the opposite side of your consciousness feels. Well, if that's how my shadow feels and my shadow is afraid of this, how does my light feel about it? Your light feels completely opposite. Your light says, go for it, baby, you got this. I know it makes you nervous, but do it anyway, right? So you learn to process those things for alignment. What I just delivered to you with these two cards is extremely valuable technique. It is extremely valuable technique. One more time for emphasis. Yes, please, and thank you. It's an extremely valuable technique. Life changing. Use it. You just got it here for free. Use it. Yeah. For sure, absolutely. You can donate $1 to me every time you watch any of these shows. Thank you. Because if all you do that, shoot, y'all might afford to pay for a new shirt once in a while. And you know, the internet. I'm just saying. That was funny the way they just cut me off with that. But going back to this again, when you feel the fear, when you feel the worry, when you feel the stress, when you feel that unease, that lack of alignment, ask, is it my light or my shadow that feels this way? And then go to the opposite. What's the perspective of the opposite? And then it's going to give you valuable information that will assist you, okay? To discern what's really going on with you, because you have to remember, you have a light and shadow aspects. All the emotions are there as a guidance system. You have the computer brain that processes the physical reality and anything that has been programmed into it. And then you have the spiritual mind that receives the downloads and new and unknown information that the computer brain doesn't get. You have an ego that's there to protect your health and your wealth and your body and make sure you smell good and look good and all that shit and feel good. And then you have a soul that's there to make sure that, you know, your feeling good isn't related to all this physical shit. And, you know, keep it balancing it, right? And so you got to remember to check in with these different aspects of self. And it's not because it's different people. It's all you, but it's different sides of your mind. If you can begin to see your mind as a diamond, and it's got this facet and that facet and the other facet and the other facet and the other facet. And sometimes you need to check and spin that diamond of your mind around and see, well, what's going on with my consciousness on this shit for real? What's really going on here, right? What is helping you? The Hangman. Well, it looks like the other side of the table is having a whole nother perspective. I heard hung out to dry. I heard hanging from the highest tree. Okay, that's what I heard. Yeah. So somebody be hung out to dry. And the Hangman is always, they can't do nothing. They can't move. They can't make no moves. When somebody is in the Hangman energy, they can't make no moves. Why? Because God said, hold on, you're going to sit here and stare at this lesson until you get that motherfucker and integrate it. Hello? Hey, that's the energy. Yeah, somebody being hung from the highest tree. They're going to get another perspective. But your spiritual commitment and willingness to receive the divine messages is a huge help for you. All right, let's see what else we have coming out in our final and fifth position, which says how to progress. How do you progress in this energy? Now that you know that the Earth's core is flowing clockwise, that it was divinely designed, which indicates that they can no longer steal or siphon your energy. Of course, unless you give them a permission slip, which we're not doing that shit no more. We pull back all the permission slips, right? How do you progress? How do you progress about this passion project, about this love, about this endeavor that you put so much into since so long, right? Let's find out. Advocate. Advocate. How do you progress? First off, you got to be your own advocate. And they're showing me there was a time where my business was having, I just felt like it could have been growing more, right? I felt like what's going on with the growth here? And so I wanted to, fertilize it, inject it with some vitamins, so to speak. So I asked God, I said, what can I do with what I have now and where I'm at now to increase my business's thriving? And you know what they showed me? You have a whole parking lot of people that come and go from here all day long, every day. Why don't you just hand some of them some cards? Don't worry about if it's a man, a woman, or a child. I'll guide you. Be your own advocate. So the guidance in that position for me was to go out and tell about what I have on offer. And that's the energy that I'm receiving here. You believe in your vision. Even if it hasn't happened yet, you still got to keep speaking it out. You got to take the physical actions that align with the success of that vision. Okay? And also, again, they're reminding you to remember that the energy is supporting you. Remember that the community has been praying for this, that the community has been begging for this. They've been wanting it. They've been wanting it so bad. Remember, they've been wanting it so bad, like throwing a tantrum like a child. Oh my God, I really want that. I know exactly what I want. I really want that. They're throwing a tantrum, but it's going to end up supporting your business, your purpose, your relationship in some sort of way. Great passion. How to progress. Put your great passion into this. You have passion about it. There's a reason why there's a fire burning in your soul about this. Go for it, honey. Go for it. How to best progress. Illumination. You got to get comfortable with being in the sunshine, in the spotlight, being seen and recognized where you go, and people know all about you and your soul and what you do and what you have to offer and your relationship and whatever they don't. Like, people got to know how fantastic you are, and it's that time. So shine bright like a diamond. Okay. Yeah, illumination. Get comfortable with being in the spotlight. And also, sidebar message for somebody, whether it's empowering your life, being more energetic, healing your physical body, healing your soul, or anything like that, go sit in the sun. Sit in the sun. Sunrise and sunset are the best times to sun gaze. That will activate things inside of your consciousness. But anytime you could get your skin under some sun for a little bit. And of course, think about it. The programmed consciousness about the sun is, oh no, the sun will give you cancer. It's going to cause this and that. So we need to protect your eyes. You need sunglasses. We need to protect your skin. You need sunscreen. It's not the sun that gives you cancer, honey. It's the chemicals in the sunscreen. It's the shit they put in the lenses. The sun is your friend. The sun. Salió el sol. Okay, no more Spanish. It was just a song that says the sun came out. Hello. So yeah, the sun. Some of you will really benefit by opening your windows and letting the sunlight in your house. The sun is extremely purifying. And I haven't said this on the channel in a while, but it's time to say it again to here today now, where with my mother being a Korean background, and we eat kimchi, right? And if you put kimchi on the cutting board, it will create an orange stain if you don't wash it out immediately. And sometimes, even if you do wash it immediately, you still end up with a little bit of kimchi stain. And so, in order to remove the stain, my mother would put the cutting board or whatever the kimchi juice got on in the sunlight for maybe an hour, and that shit will be clear and clean all over again. If the sun can do that to the kimchi stain cutting board, what will it do in your life? What can it do in your energetic field? Okay, so that was the side point message. How to progress, and this is a confirmation of what I just said. You got to be your own advocate, baby. Speak it into existence. Just like when my client called me and said, Melinda, how come I can't see your videos? And I told her, I said, well, you know, they think they're shadow banning me. They think they're blocking me out. And they think that they're going to scare me from doing my messages. And they're fucking wrong, and their plan failed. And, you know, it's already done. And that's exactly what I told her. And then the evidence showed up to support that. So speak it out. Remember that life is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Don't ever speak against yourself or your success or against your tribe or against love and peace and happiness. And speak to empowerment, baby. Speak it out. Call it out, and it comes about. And I'm going to be telling you some of my personal experiences that support the knowing that I have of that. Not exactly at this moment. I've already told you plenty for today. But let's see other type of the other side of the table. How to progress energy is the Five of Wands. Let them fight their own fucking fights. Because this is the other side of the table energy. They got a battle. They got a problem. They are with the World card at the bottom of their deck at a distance from you for a mother-loving reason. Because we love you, mother. Whether you're a male or female, you got that Mother Earth energy. You got that Empress energy all up in you. And guess what? Let them go fight their battles with the other people that they're vibrationally aligned with, which is not you. You know, let all the assholes join together. Let all the toxic bitches get together. And let them all have a heyday on one another. And stay the fuck far away from you. It's not your problem. It ain't my problem. I didn't break it. I don't have to fix it, okay? This is not my circus, not my monkeys, okay? And, you know, Sad Sally needs to go hang out with Debbie Downer and Negative Nancy, and, you know, they could all fight with each other and stay the fuck out of your face, you know, and they can repeat their negative vibrational stories and experiences as many times as they want to, because that's their energy and that's their tribe, and this is our tribe. And in our tribe, it's all about this love and peace and happiness. So we're going to get into your Alpha and Omega messages next, which we pulled first, and they tie a pretty bow on the message, and then we'll get you a yes or no answer to your personal yes or no question. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, hyping the video, doing anything to get this message out to more of you and me, of us and all we be. But you know, it all happens the way it's supposed to, so I ain't worried about it. Thank you for your love donations. Lord of mercy, thank you for your love donations. You know, my favorite is Zelle and Cash App and Venmo, just in case you needed to know. And that information is below the video because YouTube don't take no cut of that. I'm just saying. And thank you for everybody that's binge watching me on their TV while they're gone to work, or on their computers while they're gone to work, because that boosts the algorithm too. It gets more hours and more views on my videos. Thank you. Appreciate it so much. Okay. Alpha and Omega messages. First, we have the messenger of thought. A new topic or intellectual project is really exciting for you. There's so much to learn before you feel ready to move forward. New information may require changes to your plans. Review all documents carefully. You know, will meet or are someone who loves to learn and share knowledge. This person is brilliant and truthful, but also blunt and not very diplomatic. Wonder who that describes. Let's see your final Alpha and Omega message. It says, Dear you, do you feel like you need to do all the work and fix everything for everyone, or you might have no value? Maybe you think you need to control everything, or else nothing will get done. Be healed, be completed, etc. You may think you need to conform to what others expect of you, or choose a course of action to manipulate an outcome. But we don't think that would be a good choice. How about this? Even if it makes you temporarily uncomfortable, do something different. Set that boundary. Delegate responsibility to another. Ask for your needs to be met. And when faced with an impossible situation or sticky and meshed relationship, repeat this mantra. Okay. I didn't cause it, I can't control it, and it's not my job to cure it. Then carry on. Feels good, doesn't it? The best part is everything just seems to work beautifully and honestly in the end. Love you so, so much. Perfect postcard from Spirit. I love it because I was just saying all that. So let's get into the final part of our session today, which is your personal yes or no answer to your personal yes or no question. I'm going to do this once. It's going to work for all of you this one time. Why? Because Spirit already knows you were here. Your highest self knew you were here and knows what the answer is before any of us do. And so they helped you formulate your question in the perfect direction to receive your accurate answer. Now, some of you will want to work with me one-on-one about whatever subject is on your heart and mind and could best serve your evolution and growth. And I have options for you starting at $20 for one question and $45 for 10 minutes. But the information is below the video in the description box as well as on the website. And I do have time to fit you into my schedule. I'll always make time to fit you into my schedule. One of these days it won't be so easy as it is now, as the growth on our channel is phenomenal. Okay, our channel is just trending and growing and thriving and flourishing, and we're so grateful for the role that we play in it and the role that you play in it. Yay, and it is ours. So the more you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, the more your soul team knows you're here. So for now, let's get to the yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. What's the answer today? Yes or no. Thank you. The answer today is no. The bottom of the deck is the King of Cups. The first card that came out was the Ten of Cups, and the final card was the Hermit. In between, we had 10 of Cups, 6 of Wands, 6 of Cups, Page of Swords, the Sun, 7 of Wands, the Fool, the 2 of Cups, the 6 of Swords, the 7 of Pentacles, the Judgment, the King of Swords, and the Hermit. So whatever the question was, the answer today is no. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for doing all the YouTube things that boosts our growth on our channel. I love the growth we've had so far. And keep coming back. Until next time. Sending you so much. No, they said, I absolutely love and adore the part of me that aligns with you. The golden thread that shines all the way through, called love and peace and happiness. And in the meantime, in between time, you can treat yourself at LPHtarot.com. As in, love, peace, and happiness to you and yours. And of course, me and mine. Until next time. Kamsahamnida. Gracias. Later, baby. That's all, folks. And I'm out.